Some years ago, I read a story about a little boy named Imon who was gravely ill and being treated in a children's hospital. His parents kept vigil by his bedside day and night, and one nurse recalled walking past his room in the small hours of the morning and finding his mother singing softly to him, holding his very frail hand. The nurse said that it was the most beautiful thing she had ever witnessed. In that dimly lit hospital room, it felt like she had stepped into a holy ground. The boy, Imon, eventually passed away, but his parents said that they felt surrounded, carried even by a strength beyond their own, the kind you can explain but only felt or received. That, I believe, is the quiet work of angels. Not always with trumpets and fire, but with presence and consolation, and with a reminder that God is near. When we hear Daniel's vision today in the first reading, thrones set in place, rivers of fire, the Ancient of Days clothed in glory, it feels like something out of a movie scene. Now, you almost expect special effects and a booming soundtrack for this passage. But Daniel was not writing a screenplay. He was trying to put into words an experience of God's majesty that words can hardly hold. I remember reading about how the builders of medieval cathedrals in Europe, especially, used to spend years and sometimes even decades carving stone decorations on the rooftops no one would ever see. Think about that. They knew their work would be invisible to the average worshiper, hidden hundreds of feet above the ground. Yet they did it for the glory of God, trusting that even if no human eye noticed, heaven surely did. And Daniel's vision is something like that, a reminder that what we see is only a fragment of reality. Behind the veil, God's throne is surrounded by thousands upon thousands. And every small act here, seen or unseen, matters in the great drama of eternity. Now, this feast, today's feast of the archangels, reminds us that heaven is not a static courtroom, but a living community. Michael defends, Gabriel announces, Raphael heals. Each one reveals a different face of God's love. And that is deeply reassuring because it means God does not leave us alone to face life mess. And angels don't just belong to stained glass windows. They step into the grit of history. Remember chapter 18 in the book of Genesis when Abraham entertained 3 mysterious visitors under the oak tree at Mamre. He thought he was hosting weary travelers, but he was actually entertaining messengers of the divine. And that story tells us something vital. Heaven bends low in ordinary disguise, and God's messengers show up at our doorways, in hospital rooms, in unexpected phone calls, or even in a stranger who interrupts our carefully planned day. Daniel's vision also points us to the Son of Man receiving dominion. And what strikes me here is not the power, but the humility of that title, Son of Man. God crowns humanity itself with dignity, not by dazzling force, but by solidarity. And that's where the archangels point us to a God who fights for us like Michael, who speaks into our confusion like Gabriel, and who binds up our wounds like Raphael. Maybe that's the challenge of this feast, to recognize that the throne of God is not only high above us, but also hidden among us. Every time we defend someone who is being mistreated, we echo Michael. Every time we speak a word of encouragement to someone who is discouraged, we become Gabriel. And every time we sit with someone in pain, sick, or hurting, we are living Raphael's mission. So perhaps we don't need wings to be angels. We only need the courage to let God's glory shine through ordinary flesh. Daniel's vision reveals, with its rivers of fire and heavenly choirs, may seem larger than life. And maybe it reminds us that our own lives are larger than what we think. And heaven is closer, God is nearer, and ordinary people, teachers, parents, grandparents, neighbors, friends, people like you and me, can reflect its glory and be an angel to someone today.